kid, I often got a lot of instruction from my mother. My mother was a lady born in England. She had old English values. And before we would ever go to anyone's house, as a little kid, she would take me and sit me on the counter. And she would instruct me, when Mr. Moore, Mr. Smith ask you something, what do you say? I don't know. Yes, sir. No, sir. And she drilled that every time we went someplace, drilled that into me. To this day, I am 66 years old, and I still find myself saying, yes, sir. No, sir. I can't help it. It's just an automatic thing. Throughout life, I've received instructions from many, many people. I thank God for the instructions that I've been given in life. People that knew infinitely more about things and about life than me. My parents, my grandparents, teachers, people older than me, pastors. Getting instruction in life is a good thing. Being told and taught what to do. I've witnessed Brother Dave teaching his boys how to do some chores, giving them good instruction. And I thought, man, I remember my parents doing that for me. The instructions that we get is a wonderful thing in life. And I don't care who you are. We need instruction. I've never met these fine people here other than I saw you yesterday. But I know in life, you need instructions. At 66, I still need instructions for life. They didn't have any guys over there, Brother Carl? Okay. Or you have some more coming in. Good to see you guys. Now, Kim, I believe that's your brother and sister-in-law. Good to have you guys. Good to see y'all. Today we're going to look at a passage where Jesus gave disciples and those around words of instruction. You know, I pray that we're never people that think we know it all. I see that so often today where, who are you telling me what to do in life? I think there's a lot, and I won't get into that, but I think there's a lot of pride that comes with that. There was a man in the crowd where Jesus was at, and he asked Jesus, would you please speak to my brother about dividing the inheritance that was given him? I want some of that. Jesus took that opportunity, really, not just to answer the man, but to teach. To teach something very important, things about possessions and necessities. I've had the chance to travel all over the world. I love traveling. As I said, my mother is from England. I've spent a lot of time in Europe. And as I've gotten older, I've seen who we are in America. We love things, don't we? We love possessions. Jesus was talking about that in this parable that we'll look at in a minute. When I was in England, the first time I went over there, I think I was 6 years old, and got to my grandfather's house, and they lived out in the country in Norfolk, a little village that probably had 200 people. They had something I'd never seen before, an outhouse. I thought, wow, you have to go outside to use the bathroom? As a kid, that intrigued me. There was no faucets in the house for water. They had to go to the side of the house and pump water. They had a barrel under a spout on the house to catch water to bathe in. And as a 6-year-old boy, they didn't have a bathtub. I thought I had struck it rich. No bathtub. Awesome. I won't be made to take a bath. They had something. I went to bed one night, and I happened to see, as a boy is, I'm curious. I was looking under the beds, and I saw something under the bed. It was a pot. Had no idea what that was for. I soon found out. No car. My grandfather drove to a farm, or rode to a farm on a bicycle, about 15 miles every day and every evening. And they were content. They were content in life and happy. And I look at America and us, and we have fill in the blank. We have it all. And we're discontent. We don't have enough. I want more. Jesus talks about that in this parable that we're going to look at today. And if you would have ears to hear and listen to me, this will help you in life. It will truly help in life. I've done well in life financially. Grew up very poor and have done financially well. God has blessed me. And I realize none of it matters. None of it matters. Turn to Luke chapter 12, if you would, please. Possessions and necessities. Luke chapter 12. He teaches them something very important in this parable. And it's beware. He teaches them a number of things. But the first point is beware of covetousness. Luke 12, verse 13. And one of the company said unto him, Master, speak to my brother, that he divide the inheritance with me. And he said unto him, Man, who made me a judge or a divider over you? And he said unto them, now here's the picture. The guy, Jesus is talking to an individual guy, and he says, divide what my brother has received for an inheritance with me, Jesus. Jesus stops, looks around, and starts talking to everybody there. Take heed and beware of covetousness. For a man's life consists not in the abundance of the things which he possesseth. And he spake a parable unto them. After he got through saying that, he went right into a parable to talk about what he was trying to convey. And he spake a parable unto them, saying, The ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentiful. And he thought within himself, saying, What shall I do, because I have no room where to bestow my fruits? And he said, This will I do. I will pull down my barns and build greater, and there will I bestow all my fruits and my goods. And I will say to my soul, Soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry. But God said unto him, this is a covetous man who had a lot, who was blessed and wanted more. But God said unto him, Thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then whose shall those things be which thou hast provided? So he that layeth up treasure for himself and is not rich towards God. What do we do with the things that we've been given in life? What do we do? I get convicted about this all the time. God has been so good to me, so good. I come from a family where my father was married and divorced 3 times. I've been married to the first and only wife for 45 years. God has been good to me, very good to me. God has provided for me. Do I want what I can get out of this world? Is that my aim and my goal in life? When I wake up every day, is it about what I can get for me? Is it what I can provide for me and build up my barns in life? Jesus told him, man, I'm not going to be a decider of what you and your brother are going to do. That's left up to the legal matters. Let them handle that. But he wants to teach them something much more important. What is our life about? Why do we live this life? What are we doing in this life that really matters? Is it about the things that we get? I love America. I truly love this country. I'm a veteran. I love America. I've been around the world, and I see the value and the benefit of our country. But there's one thing I see that we've done wrong. We've got wrong. We think all this life is about what we can get out of it. I don't know, you're Kim's brother. You have to be a wonderful man because she's a wonderful woman. Don't know your wife, don't know your son. But I can tell you've been blessed. Been blessed richly. What gets me up in the morning? What gets me up? And what do I live for every day? Is it to look at the stock market and see how much my stocks have grown? I have to admit, I do that too much. I do that way too much. That's not what this life is about. There was I won't embarrass this person, but there was an individual that has been successful in life and consistently looks around to see what he can do for somebody else. He's in this room. Doesn't have to do any of the things that he does. But my wife and I built a house. Actually, Eugene built it for us. Very nice house. We have about a 2,000 square foot deck. It's a huge deck. I needed to sand it, stain it, clean it. That's hard work. I don't know. I'm used to being in an office and traveling for business. The guy decided to come over and help me, giving of himself. One of my sons said, "Dad, I want to be happy in life." I said, "Happiness, son, is not a destination. It's a byproduct of doing what you should do, helping others, living for somebody else other than ourselves." That man that I was telling you about that came and helped, he's living a happy life. My joy in life comes from looking at and helping others. I've told you this story many times. My kids were small, and I say small, they were probably, there's 3 years difference between the first and second, and 3 years difference between the second and third. I saw their ages, they were probably 11, 8, and 5. And I said, this Christmas, we're not going to get you all the things that we normally buy you. I want you to look out and find somebody who is less fortunate than you. And we're going to let you go buy what you would have received for them. Oh, you couldn't believe the joy that they had. Now they're 43, 40, and 37. And if you go ask them about their Christmases, the greatest one that they remember, they will say, it's that Christmas. But we forget about that truth, don't we? We forget about living a life, serving others, being content with such things as we have. Where are we at in this life today? Who are we living it for? Why should we remind ourselves of the truth that Jesus espoused regarding covetousness? Because life is not about possessions. It isn't. Life is not about possessions. I have about a 4,800 square foot house. That's not, my life is not about that. I got promoted to a division vice president position at work and worked there a number of years. My wife and I decided to buy another house, and we did. It was a large house, had a pool house in the back. And my father and mother, who were divorced, happened to come over at the same time. And they were walking around looking at the house. And my father said, "Jeff, you've made it." I've made it? What do you mean I've made it? Having these things having a good job does not impact one iota who I am. What impacts who I am is how I live and do for others. How are we living life? What is this life about for us? I pray that we see the point that Jesus is making in this parable and how it's important not to be trapped and wrapped up in the things that we can get for ourselves. They mean nothing. The older I get, the more I want to reject that stuff. Take heed and beware. When he says beware, it's not like the word that we use to beware. It's like, hey, bud, watch out here. You don't know where this is going to. Beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesses. Life is not about possessions. And then on top of that, he gave the parable that we read. That farmer who was successful and had a really good crop, already had barns, already had things stored away, but there wasn't enough room to store all the other things that he had. So he built them down and built them and tore them down and built them and made new barns. Look at Luke chapter 12, verse 16, if you would. Same chapter we just read. I want you to see something. 6 times. This guy, this farmer who wanted to tear down his barns and build bigger, 6 times he said, I. 5 times he said, my. Life was about him. Look at verse 16. And he spake a parable unto them, saying, the ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentiful. And he thought within himself, what shall I do? Because I have no room where to bestow my fruits. And he said, this will I do. I will pull down my barns and build greater, and there will I bestow my goods and my fruit and my goods. And I will say to my soul, soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry. God said unto him, thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Life is not about me. Life is not about you. I want us to be joyful people. People that love life. Like my son asked how to be happy. And this is exactly what I told him. Live for somebody else. Serve somebody else. That's where happiness resides, Dan and Ben, in doing and serving other people. They forgot what Proverbs 27:1 said about life. Boast not thyself of tomorrow, for thou knowest not what a day may bring forth. He hadn't considered that life is temporary. It seems just the other day, what's your son's name? Jason. I'm sorry. Chasen, I'm sorry. I'm old and can't hear. I remember, it seems like I was just your age the other day. And man, boom. Where did it all go? One day you'll be as old as Brother Carl. My goodness, he's old. Life is short. Then I die. And the things that I had don't belong to me anymore. Y'all know Fred Smith, the CEO, founder of FedEx. He died the other day, and I looked up information about him. And on June the 20th, he had $5 to $6 billion. On June 21st, you know how much he had? 0. What's your life live for? What are we doing with this life? Fred Smith is alive today. I just don't know where. That's the life I want to live for. The one where I'll spend eternity and matters in eternity. Had a family friend. I've told my class about it before, C.H. Springer. He's a really good man. I've known him since I was born. Very wealthy man. He was worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Gave a lot of it away in life. One day, at the age, I think, of 65, developed cancer. And in 3 months, he was dead. No longer had hundreds of millions of dollars. You say, well, Jeff, his family inherited it, yeah. And one day they'll die. And whose will those things be? I think about Cornelius Vanderbilt, who was worth hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. Where's the money he had? It's gone. Matter of fact, who is the CNN guy that's related to him? Anderson Cooper. By the time it got to him, his mother's name was Gloria Vanderbilt, I believe. And by the time it got to him, there was no money left. And he was the richest man in America. My point is, we fight and battle and scheme and in some cases connive to get what we want. For not, it goes away. Let's be careful and on purpose live for the right things. Every person that has ever lived, ever, lost every bit of that money when they died. And the same will happen to you and me. The same. So I ask you again, what are we living for? What is this life about? Point number 2, look at Luke 12, verse 22. And he said unto his disciples, therefore, because of everything that I just said, therefore, I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what you shall eat, necessities, neither for your body, what you put on, necessities. The life is more than meat, and the body more than raiment. Consider the ravens, for they neither sow nor reap, which neither have storehouse nor barns, and God feedeth them. How much more are ye better than those? And for time's sake, I won't read the rest, but he goes on and talks about that. The Lord, God, will take care of his dumb sheep. Dumb sheep. And God will take care of you. In the darkest times of my life, when, and most of the people here know this story, I've said it before. A young married couple, 2 or 3 kids. I can't remember if we had the third one yet by then. The company I worked for shut down. 2 weeks later, the company my wife worked for shut down. In the darkest times of life, no money coming in, not a lot of savings. When the storms of life were raging in my life and the problems seemed insurmountable, and I had no idea what to do in life, none. I didn't know what to do in life. I came through those storms, not because of me, but because I had somebody taking care of a dumb sheep that didn't know what to do in life. I came through because of him. God will take care of you. We worry about things, don't we? We worry about the bill that's due tomorrow. And we worry about what am I going to do when my children go to college. God will take care of you when he is first place. In very good times of my life, when I was able to get through those times. I think those are the most dangerous times, to be honest with you. When things are good, very dangerous times. He took care of me, kept me humble, made sure I had problems along the way so that I knew that I couldn't control all of life. He took care of me during the good times. Jesus said, therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life. Then what am I to think of? We think a lot about life, don't we? For years, I would get these, before the internet, I would get these magazines that come and would give stock charts that I would get, and I would study these charts because I'm investing my money. And boy, I had a lot of thought about this life. I thought much about what is going to happen to my wife and kids. What's going to happen to me? And I had to get to a point where I said, enough. I can't figure any of it out. But I can pray. And I can serve him. And I can get concerned about you. And you. And you. And you. And live my life, not for me, but for others. And some miraculous way, I don't know how he did it, he blessed me beyond measure. And he'll do the same for you. What are the thoughts that consume your life? When you're laying in bed and you're getting ready to go to sleep, what are the thoughts that consume you? He says, take no thoughts for your life. But naturally we do. God will take care of you. But here's the problem. We don't believe it. It's a matter of trust. Trusting him to take care of you. When the seas are rough in life, God will take care of you. Seek not ye what ye shall eat or what ye shall drink, neither be ye of a doubtful mind. We doubt God. And I'll finish with this. 1 Timothy, turn there if you would, 1 Timothy 6, 6 through 8. 1 Timothy 6, 6 through 8. Listen, I absolutely don't know it all. I still feel like a little kid in life at times. But I'm learning to trust him. And it will revolutionize your life, if you will. But godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content. I'm a capitalist from the word go. Not very much a capitalist. I reject the greed of our society. Greed is a sin. Greed is wicked. I think it's some of the reasons that we've received chastisement as a nation, because we have become greedy. Live for him. Seek the kingdom of God. I'm sorry, one last verse. Go back to Luke chapter 12. I've got 3 or 4 verses to read, and we'll just about be done. Seek the kingdom of God. Luke 12, verse 31. After everything I've just said, after all that Jesus said in the story and in the parable, he says, but rather seek ye the kingdom of God. And all these things, all what things? The things that we desire in life shall be added unto you. Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Sell that ye have and give alms. Provide yourselves bags which wax not old, a treasure in the heavens that faileth not, where no thief approacheth, neither moth corrupt. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Do you want joy in life? Everything that I've told you today will bring you joy. But here's the problem. He that hath ears to hear will hear. And he that doesn't have ears to hear will not hear. This has got to be the joy, the goal, the purpose, and the aim of our life. So the question remains for the rest of your life. You don't know how long it's going to be. What's going to be your goal? What's going to be your aim? How will you live your life? Live your life seeking first his kingdom, and all the things that we desire will be added unto us. We're dismissed.